As Bitcoin sits just about at record highs, companies are cashing in. Just today, Visa partnering with crypto startup BlockFi for Bitcoin Rewards credit card, which will give you Bitcoin instead of cash or miles. And Mizuho is out with a new note, raising its price target on PayPal, claiming that Bitcoin exuberance is boosting engagement on the platform. That stock hitting a record high today. Joining us now, the analyst behind that note, Mizuho's Dan Dolev. Dan, great to have you with us.
Thank you. Great being back.
Going into Bitcoin and allowing users to trade Bitcoin, this is all about engagement. And so what have you found in terms of how much more engaged users are because of Bitcoin?
This is a great question. Look, so the survey we did, we surveyed almost 400 people, and surprisingly, almost one fifth of them already traded Bitcoin. Remember, PayPal opened Bitcoin trading about 3-4 weeks ago, or even less than that. So this is a huge number. And 65% of them actually want to use Bitcoin as a currency on PayPal's 28 million merchants. But the key thing is not the Bitcoin revenue itself, which is minimal, it's the higher engagement. So it turns out that those people that trade Bitcoin are more than 3 times more likely to engage with the PayPal app. That means they have more products to use, more paying for QR codes, etc. They use more product, they use it more frequently, which enhances PayPal's revenue opportunity. So it's all about engagement, and we see massive upside to engagement, and that justifies our $290 price target today.
Is this cause and effect, or is this coincident? In other words, are the people who tend to trade Bitcoin, they tend to be more sort of digitally savvy and more willing to engage the app in all the different ways that you outlined? Or is it because they trade Bitcoin, they are using the app more?
It's a great question. We actually thought about it. Is it sort of a self-selective group? It turns out that it's not, because of the people that trade Bitcoin, we asked them, what % of you actually saw your engagement, your own personal engagement increase after starting to trade Bitcoin? And 50% said that they saw the engagement go up, versus only 9 that saw it now. So the up to down ratio is huge. So it's not just a self-selective group. Those people that start trading Bitcoin actually use the app more often. And this creates this sort of flywheel of more monetization, more revenue, et cetera, which is going to be very, very visible starting in Q4 and into 2021.
So what are your expectations in terms of that incremental dollar and how much a Bitcoin trade could add in incremental dollars in usage in the other parts of the app?
Okay, so what we did is we actually looked at, for example, Square as a comparator. Square Cash App has been allowing Bitcoin for a long time. Mm-hmm. Square generates about $3 to $4 per user on Bitcoin revenue on an annualized basis. So for PayPal, that translates into 250 million, or about a point. That's not the big deal. The big deal is the engagement. For every point of higher engagement, remember, on average, PayPal users engage about 40 times a year, or say, call it short of once a week. For every 1 point increase, if you go from 40 to 41, it's already 2 to 3% of revenue growth. So say you move engagement up by 2 points from 40 to 42, 40 times a year versus 42 times a year, that's like 5 to 6% of higher revenue next year. Remember, next year they're facing eBay drag. eBay is moving to managed payments. That could be a 5 percentage point drag. What we think is that this drag is going to be offset, or more than offset, due to the higher Bitcoin engagement. And I don't think that's really appreciated by the street.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.